Wednesday. Training.
Hey, I just see this this thing that John Clark tweeted out. John and Rob, he says there's a quote in it that says Jalen Hurts remains and Mariota and Carson Wentz are rep by the same agency. One prominent league source said to keep an eye on the Eagles if Mariota is traded or released.
Well, remember we talked about that with John and you. Rob wasn't here, but it was like right at that point of getting in the Carson trade fatigue. Mm-hmm. And we were like, look, the Eagles are probably better off just trading Carson and getting a guy like Mariota back. We had like a full-on conversation about that.
Yeah. Well, Marcus has had a lot of interest around the league, but if you think about his price tag and you realize the Raiders are going to have to move on, I think a lot of people are waiting for him to get released rather than trade for him. So they're trying to probably drum up a little interest. Ultimately, I think, look, he's going to be valued, but I think people are going to wait until he's on the street, and understandably so. That makes the most sense for anybody, to be honest.
You're going to hear agents tell everybody that every team is interested in their player. That's what happens now. Yeah. And here's what I hate. when people use an agent and say a league source.
Right.
That's a league source is not an agent's not a league source. He's paid by the player. He's not paid by the NFL. The NFL hates when that happens, when you hear league source this and league source that. The only league sources work at Park Avenue in New York. They're not these agents.
By the way, J.J. Watt just tweeted out he's signing with the Arizona Cardinals.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Shocker.
He tweeted out source me and a picture of a guy in an Arizona Cardinals jersey or shirt, or him in an Arizona Cardinals shirt.
Yeah.
Good for
that's
him.
right from the source. Good source, I think he's got.
That is a good source.
Arizona defense pretty damn good last year. Up front, at least, right? I mean, what does this do for a division that just added Matthew Stafford, that can't have a 49ers team as bad as they were last year because they were just decimated with injury? And I don't know what Russell Wilson could come out and win the MVP. He's so damn motivated this year.
But remember, Arizona, Chandler Jones was injured for much of the season. So you put those two guys together, they got something cooking there.
Yeah, but I still don't believe in Kyler Murray yet. I want to see. I don't believe in Kyler Murray offensively to where I think he can be a quarterback who can sustain running as much as he does, enduring the shots that he takes on that small frame and being able to lead that offense. We saw, to me, that was a disappointment how their season ended. I don't know that they're a J.J. Watt away from being a playoff team, from getting over that hump. I don't think they are.
You're right, Rob. It's a really difficult division as well. So very deep division. You're right. Kyler got banged up with that shoulder, and it was sort of pre and post. And you got to talk about his frame because he is undersized. And the way he plays, he's going to be susceptible to getting banged up all the time. That's just reality.
Do they bring Reddick back, Hassan Reddick?
Not yet. I doubt he's coming back at this point.
Boy, he's a name. We didn't mention him. We were talking about this earlier, John, about the biggest names that will be available in free agency. And Watt was right there at the top of the list, but that's another one too. We didn't even bring him up. Hassan Reddick's out there.
13th overall pick, right? In 20, what was it, 17?
Like it too, right?
Yeah.
Finally. It took him a while.
My only concern is Hassan, he was not, he was in danger of getting released at one point, and then he really came on in his contract year. So he's only had one really good season, and you can talk. I think he had that 5-sack game, so his numbers are a little bit inflated. I don't know if the consistency is there, but he's talented, no question about that.
2-year deal, $31 million, 23 guaranteed for Watt.
Wow,
sounds about right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's
fair.
I wonder how much DeAndre Hopkins played a role in that. Right?
Yeah, good point.
Played for Houston. Got to have a relationship there.
Got lucky and got out of there.
I mean, think about it. If you're Jack Easterby one of these other idiots running that franchise right now. You've got people that are getting out or have gone out at the result of the guy that you fired in O'Brien and getting back. Like, isn't that the worst sign? Is that people that you have either discarded or want to get away from your team are now going and playing together. It's like
bringing in guys.
Exactly. I mean, it's like what Frank Reich was doing with all the assistants that the Eagles fired.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, soft landing spot for Press and Mike Rowe.
Just wait for Alshon to join Carson out in Indy. Just wait on that.
Oh, man. Do you realize that would just set this world on fire? People wouldn't know what to think about it. Not at all.
They're losing T.Y. Hilton. They need a receiver. Alshon's shot, but that'd be hilarious.
Well, I wonder, there is something to look at this. We mentioned the 2 wide receivers that came to mind, right? Chris Godwin was one.
Allen Robinson was the other.
Penn Staters.
Of course.
That's true.
Yeah, of course. That position isn't that bad of a transfer.
Richard Sherman, by the way, he's a free agent too.
Yeah.
Well,
he's shot though, isn't he?
He played well last year.
Everybody was hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, so my quick question. Let's think about this. We'll take a quick break. We'll talk about this in the break. Come back, get some picks from Jason before we get out of here, and think about this. As far as actually, you know what? I forgot. So don't worry. We'll break. We'll be back in 3. It's themiddlevoice.com/themiddle and SportsMap Radio. Totally forgot. Something about the hell were we just talking about?
Free agents.
Oh,
yeah.
Do you think, like, who is the big target? Like, so not target. Who is the big anchor right now? I don't know how much money Russell Wilson and his team have to pull in another wide receiver when he's been bitching and moaning, rightfully so, about signing a lineman or bringing in protection. So if you look at the Chiefs, right? Chiefs don't have any money. They're not going to sign. So some of these big name, the Bucs are doing everything they can to keep the people that they have. Godwin's most likely going to be out. My point of it is if we can create some sort of Venn diagram real quick here, where is that middle of top quarterback to want to play with and also a realistic destination that I can play at? Could Carson Wentz be one of them?
Could he what? Could he be luring guys in? Yeah, because they got money.
That's the point. Is that
they
money?
Good coach.
They have money, good coach, a team that had a solid defense and made the playoffs, and clearly looks like they're a legitimate contender. Yeah.
I mean, anybody can turn into a destination. The Jets have a ton of money, so if you get a quarterback, all of a sudden they're a destination.
Yeah, you know what? You know what's a good destination? A team that's got cap space. And really spend it.
Exactly. Somewhat though. I mean, for example, if the Philadelphia Eagles had more cap space and had the ability to land a Robinson or Godwin, do you think either would really want to come here?
Well, Godwin's from here. I know his dad used to come out to our remotes when I worked with Mike.
Really?
When he was at Penn State. Yeah, he's a real good guy. But sometimes people that are from here don't want to play here, or where they're from, they don't want to play because there's a lot of pulling on you that happens.
Yep.
When you're playing in your hometown.
Yep.
There's a lot of people hitting you up. You don't want that as a young player.
The Eagles have no cap space, and the Eagles are in a messy situation.
But the Eagles were a destination for years.
Not anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, not anymore.
No.
Not right now.
Not with what happened with Carson, not with what happened with Doug. From the coaching standpoint, they weren't an attractive destination for a coach with cachet, and the GM controls too much.
No, right now they're not. Now,
the reputation around the league that players have when they leave here, they just look at the situation as a very toxic environment. They don't want to be there.
Equate it to another team in another sport. Like, what is the perception for the league sources?
In a different sport, I was going to say Houston is bad, but the Texans.
Well, I think they're equally.
Columbus and hockey. Bunch of guys have gotten out of there.
Buffalo, too, in hockey.
Yeah. Ryan O'Reilly demanded out. Eichel's going to any minute now.
And there's no sign of fixing that Sabres team, right?
Dude, they're such a mess, man.
You're listening to The Middle.
Michael's a great player, and he was disinterested yesterday. It was bad luck.
Studios.
The Middle.
I'm out on fishing in areas like.
Come on, bro. You're about to have a kid, and he's gonna want to go fishing. Uncle B can't take him fishing all the time. You got to learn to fish, bro.
It's a good point.
What do you mean it's a good point? My ability to father my child relies solely on taking him fishing?
Yes, Mr. Predicto.
All right, what's the question for Mr. Predicto here?
About your ability to father a child.
Well, it has to be yes or no, okay?
Will your son want to go fishing?
Well, my son, my boy, want to fish.
Uh-oh.
The signs say no.
Huh?
Oh!
That's it. I'm walking off the set like Maury. Boom, boom. I'm out.
Drop the mic.
See ya.
You're not capable of dropping the mic.
Oh, my goodness.
I'll roll with that Mr. Predict. This is my guy right here.
The Middle with Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays. Weekdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.